The daughters of Sean Diddy Combs have stepped into the spotlight with their first public interview since their father's legal troubles, and the timing has sparked plenty of discussion online. In the exclusive conversation, they focused on presenting a positive image of their father, describing him as a loving and supportive parent, despite the intense public scrutiny surrounding him. The interview also served another purpose, introducing their new clothing brand to a wider audience. By speaking publicly now, they have drawn significant attention to both their personal story and their business venture. While many viewers have praised them for standing by their family during a difficult time, others question whether the interview was carefully planned to benefit from the renewed media attention. Regardless of public opinion, the appearance has reignited debate about Diddy's legacy and whether his family's public support will influence how people view the ongoing controversy.
Well, I just feel like we've never allowed any of that to stop us. We have to keep going, and it's honestly just made us push and work harder because we're not going to stop.
The recent interview featuring Sean Diddy Combs' twin daughters has generated widespread discussion, not only because it marked their first major public appearance since their father's legal case, but also because of its timing. More than a year has passed since the trial concluded. So many people are asking why they chose to speak publicly now instead of immediately after the verdict. The answer appears fairly obvious. They are launching their own fashion brand and wanted to introduce themselves to the public on their own terms while taking advantage of the attention surrounding their family name. From a business perspective, the decision makes sense. Any entrepreneur wants maximum exposure when introducing a new product, and media attention is one of the fastest ways to accomplish that. Their interview was also an opportunity to explain who they are outside of the headlines surrounding their father. Whether people agree with the strategy or not, it succeeded in getting millions of people talking about both the interview and their clothing collection. At the same time, it's important to separate the daughters from their father's actions. They are not responsible for the legal decisions or personal choices he made, and they deserve the opportunity to build careers of their own. No child should automatically be judged because of a parent's mistakes. If they genuinely want to establish a successful fashion brand, they should be allowed to compete in the marketplace like anyone else. However, launching a clothing line in today's fashion industry is extremely challenging. The market is crowded with established brands and new labels appearing almost every day. Success requires more than a recognizable last name. It demands unique design, strong branding, quality products, and a clear reason for customers to choose one brand over another. While the publicity surrounding this interview may create initial curiosity, long-term success will ultimately depend on whether the collection offers something different from the countless other fashion brands already available. During the interview with Entertainment Tonight, the twins spoke warmly about their father. They described him as a loving and supportive parent, saying they remain in regular contact with him and that he has encouraged their career ambitions. According to the interview, they also said he has apologized to them following the release of the widely circulated surveillance footage showing him assaulting Cassie Ventura. They emphasized that he has encouraged them as they pursue modeling and fashion, and they credited him with supporting their professional goals alongside the inspiration they received from their late mother, Kim Porter, who had a successful modeling career. One of the most debated moments came when the sisters addressed the idea of being Nepo babies. They suggested they are working hard to earn success on their own and don't expect opportunities to simply be handed to them. That statement immediately divided public opinion. Many people believe that having wealthy and famous parents naturally provides advantages that most aspiring entrepreneurs and models never receive. Access to industry connections, financial security, and media attention can create opportunities that are unavailable to the average person trying to enter the same fields. At the same time, acknowledging those advantages doesn't necessarily mean their future success is guaranteed. Having famous parents may open doors, but sustaining a career still requires talent, discipline, and consistent effort. Many people born into celebrity families struggle to establish their own identities despite having access to opportunities. Public expectations can also be significantly higher, and criticism often becomes far more intense than it would be for someone without a famous last name. Another major point of discussion centers on their public defense of their father. It's understandable that children would continue loving and supporting a parent despite public controversy. Family relationships are deeply personal, and many people naturally stand by loved ones during difficult times. From their perspective, they may genuinely believe they are sharing their own experiences rather than trying to influence public opinion. However, Critics argue that the interview risks shifting attention away from the seriousness of the allegations and convictions that have surrounded Diddy. Numerous lawsuits and accusations involving multiple individuals have received extensive media coverage over the past several years. While everyone is entitled to express personal feelings about a family member, many viewers believe those statements should not overshadow the experiences of people who have publicly accused him of misconduct or minimize the broader legal issues that remain part of his public legacy. Because of that, some observers see the interview as more than a simple family conversation. They believe it also functions as an effort to reshape public perception by highlighting Diddy's role as a father instead of focusing on the controversies that have dominated headlines. Whether intentional or not, interviews like this often become part of a larger public relations narrative, especially when they coincide with a new business launch. Ultimately, the interview has accomplished exactly what many major media appearances are designed to do. It generated conversation. Some viewers admire the sisters for remaining loyal to their father while trying to establish independent careers. Others believe the interview blurred the line between promoting a business and attempting to rehabilitate Diddy's public image. Regardless of where public opinion lands, one thing is certain: the twins' future success will depend less on this single interview and far more on the quality of their work, the strength of their brand, and their ability to build a reputation that stands on its own rather than relying solely on their family's name. The interview has sparked another conversation that goes beyond fashion. Since the twins are launching a new clothing brand, many people have questioned how much influence their father's name and resources have had in making that possible. It's a fair topic to discuss because growing up in a famous family naturally creates opportunities that most aspiring entrepreneurs simply don't have. Whether it's financial backing, industry connections, or media attention, those advantages can play a major role in getting a new business off the ground. That doesn't mean their success should automatically be dismissed. Plenty of celebrity children have access to incredible opportunities, but still fail to build lasting careers. At the end of the day, a clothing brand survives only if customers actually like the products. Public curiosity may generate attention during launch week, but long-term success depends on quality, creativity, and consistent branding. Where the interview became more controversial wasn't the fashion discussion, it was the conversation about Diddy himself. Throughout the interview, the twins described him as a supportive father who encouraged their ambitions and continues to guide them. From their perspective, those comments likely reflect their own personal experiences growing up. Family relationships are complicated, and children often have a very different view of a parent than the public does. The problem, according to many critics, is that these statements inevitably become part of a much larger public conversation. Diddy's legal issues, convictions, and the numerous allegations that have surrounded him have been covered extensively for years. Because of that, every positive public statement about him is viewed through the lens of those controversies. Instead of focusing entirely on their new business, the interview quickly shifted back toward their father's public image. Some viewers believe that if the goal was simply to promote the clothing brand, the discussion could have remained centered on fashion, modeling, and their future plans. Questions about their father were almost inevitable, but there is a difference between acknowledging a difficult situation and allowing the interview to become largely about rebuilding someone else's reputation. That's where much of the public disagreement comes from. Another issue that generated debate was their comments about earning success on their own. Many people pointed out that being born into one of the entertainment industry's wealthiest families naturally provides advantages that others don't have. Access to financial security, business advice, influential contacts, and major media platforms give celebrity children a head start compared with most young entrepreneurs. Recognizing those advantages doesn't take away from their hard work. In fact, many people respect public figures who openly acknowledge the privileges they were born with while still putting in the effort to create something meaningful. Being honest about those opportunities often resonates more with audiences than trying to suggest the playing field has been completely equal. At the same time, it's equally important to remember that the daughters themselves are not responsible for the legal problems surrounding their father. They shouldn't be blamed for actions they didn't commit, nor should they automatically lose the chance to build successful careers because of someone else's decisions. Every individual deserves the opportunity to establish their own identity and reputation, where opinions continue to divide as over how much public support for a family member should influence broader public perception. It's understandable that children would defend someone they love, But many viewers believe that personal loyalty shouldn't overshadow the seriousness of the legal proceedings and allegations that have been widely reported. Those who followed the court cases argue that public opinion should be informed by documented legal developments rather than emotional interviews or carefully managed public appearances. For that reason, many observers encourage people to look beyond social media clips, celebrity interviews, and promotional campaigns. They suggest paying attention to verified court records, official filings, trial proceedings, and credible reporting when evaluating high-profile legal cases. While interviews can provide insight into how family members feel, they don't replace the facts established through the legal process. As for the clothing brand itself, only time will determine whether it succeeds. The interview certainly generated publicity, and in today's competitive fashion industry, attention is valuable. But attention alone doesn't create a lasting business. Consumers ultimately decide which brands survive based on product quality, originality, pricing, and consistency. In the end, the twins now face the challenge of building a reputation independent of their family's headlines. If they can shift the conversation toward their work, creativity, and business, rather than the ongoing controversy surrounding their father, they'll have a much stronger chance of earning respect on their own merits. Whether the public embraces that journey remains to be seen, but their future will ultimately be shaped by what they create, not just by the family name they were born into.